And isn't it just like a man to define himself and his achievements through the edge of his property line? So I would be very leery of any flat earth model that enters this debate that shows you an edge. Because in the end, if you unquestioningly accept a flat earth that has an edge over a ball which has the same edge, you're still in the cage. You're still in the box. You're still in a bubble. And you don't get it. They're hiding land. That's why they did all the maps for you. So you don't think there's another big chunk. It's not that we live in an enclosed system. It's that they're building one. This is a cage that's going to be enforced by androids, and you'll never get out.
They don't care if the flat earth revolution starts now, because it might be too late. From 1913 to 2015, not including a third world war, us finally waking up to the fact that there's only one image of the earth from the Apollo 17 mission, and they play with the contrast to make you think there's thousands, but you only have one, and they use it in science books. It's 2015, and they don't even have any real-time camera footage of the Earth as a ball from space spinning in real-time video. And they make you think that the new world, or the new worlds, are up there while they're doing something. They're distracting you. You ever think about it? I'm telling you, there's more land. There's extra territory. There's extra land. I'm being extraterrestrial. Get it?
So, that's all I have to say. Watch out for those disinformation agents, right? Disinformation is the process of deformation of the form, the real form that I tried to inform you. You have inform. What's information? Well, that's formation from inside your mind. I inform you. I create a form inside you, the information process of giving you a form inside you, where the subject actually thinks that the form, the thought, is from themselves. That's information. All people want to understand form of something, form of a thought. Let's say a thought is a form, a thought form. But how do you know when a form is a deformation of the actual form? The process of making you think a deformation is information is disinformation. Then you become misinformed. Misinformation. A lot of people don't know that, but they're misinformed because there's disinformation going on against the real form. It's been going on for a long time. Now, when a movement begins the reformation process of the actual form and transmit the new form through the information process, or the reinformation, or the in-reformation process, or the reformation process of the actual form, once again, you'll have agents deforming it through the disinformation process. So you are misinformed. Once you've been disinformed and you think you're armed with information and you go out speaking, you'll come up against the other argument, the argument of control. Let's say globalism and flat earth as an example. Because through this entire campaign, I've now proven my thesis on disinformation agents, the disinformation mechanics, and the process. This is how disinformation works. You're turned on by the idea, hey, wait a minute. People think the earth is a ball because they got pictures that glue together an equation from priests that work at the Vatican. And they're blown away. And then they go back to their senses. Yeah, I look at the horizon. Shit, that boat's disappearing. It must be a curve. Wait a minute, telescope. It's still fucking there. How is it still there if it's a fucking ball dropping 8 inches every square mile? Because it's supposed to be curving. But I still see it for like, 1,000 fucking kilometers. It's flat. So they're blown away. They look at the UN flag. That's a flat earth map. That's taken from the actual original Flat Earth Society. Blown away. But they've bullied everybody intellectually. Oh, that's back when people were stupid and they thought the earth was flat. So you don't go there. Since you were born, you've been brainwashed. Anything but a ball is stupidity. But you've never seen the ball. So you're blown away by what I'm telling you. Now, it starts to take hold like a virus. Like a mind virus. It starts like creating a revolution. And I'm a revolutionary. What happens now is they activate the disinformation campaign. This is how it works. What they'll do is they'll set up other flat earth theorists or pseudo-revolutionaries. Now these are conscious or unconscious. They can be programmed through Robert Sweet's patent, where they triangulate subliminal, superliminal messages into the subject's mind, the target individual's mind, who might be a little religious, might be a zealot, upset with society, doesn't like globalism, and then they adhere to this theorem. Then there's the conscious ones that are paid through the CIA and other counterintelligence agencies, and their job is to set up a channel, set up a platform, create a group, a blog, whatever, and then attract. They'll take half of what you say, which is palpable, half of it, point at the exact same flaws that we see in globalism and NASA and the lunar landing, all of that. Then they'll adhere or twist or invert one thing so your whole theory looks ridiculous. Then what happens is then a support team of other disinformation agents, conscious or unconscious, paid or unpaid, gravitate towards the site. Some of them, that's their salary, to go and support this agent in his campaign to begin the discrediting of the science, the logic, the argument, the proofs. If it's not a ball, how is it that I can go from Los Angeles to Paris? Okay, so let's do that. Los Angeles, Paris. Well, wait a minute. How can I go from Paris to Siberia? Well, just keep going. Keep going. You almost made a full circle. Going around in circles on a flat plane doesn't mean it's a ball. Go around in circles on a floor doesn't make the house a ball. You know? Just because you went around in a big circle doesn't mean it's a ball. Ha ha, it's a sphere. I flew around the world. No, you flew around in a big circle. Following GPS. Because you only have a certain amount of gas to get around the world. Some guys go up and they just go around and around a couple times. Why don't you go under the South Pole completely? You know? And not one of these staged excursions that just stay on the coast but make you think you're going deep in, or you're going right to the point and then back out the way you came but not continuing straight across.
And not these double traverses where there's no witnesses, or it's like an ex-military scientist or a UN shill. I mean, that's a big, huge security for the sake of science. That's what the Southern Antarctic Treaty Project is. No activity beyond that point entering into the South Pole unless for scientific reasons. Yeah. To secure science. All of it. Jarl Landahoy, though, got picked up within just a couple hours. How'd they know he was there? He went in unannounced. He went in unannounced twice. Read up on him. Jarl Landahoy. He left from New Zealand the second time, and there were cops running down the stairs on the dock as his little sailboat took off with the repairman who was working on it still in the hull to go see what happened to his friends that were probably murdered. Saying the Earth is flat, not having Wi-Fi, and then having to respond to people and having to drive 20 miles just to go and respond to somebody who's starting to think the sky is some sort of glass dome. There's a force of energy at the top which Tesla tapped into with his experiments, which HAARP taps into in Alaska. And what it is basically you have air, or what we call ether, the medium between things, form. Get right back down to Aristotle here, because if it isn't a globe, and heliocentrism is a weird solar worship hoax cult where people got sacrificed under obelisks by the same people who said it was a ball and drank their blood. This happened like 2,000 years ago. People had slaves. You know, Sir Isaac Newton was a slave owner. He had slaves. You know, Benjamin Franklin, these people had slaves. Okay? The principles of their world, or what they think the world should be, are the principles we have today. And these people had slaves. The people who are the scholars, the giants of physics, had slaves. Right? I'm no fucking slave. And if you're a black man thinking this is a color issue with World War III or like the US, you're just playing into the whole divide and conquer. The old Jesuit tactique, which they're doing with the Jews and the Muslims. And here's the best part of it. Atheist, physicist, who believes in science. This is from a Catholic priest. Do you know his name? Who said the Earth was a ball? That's right. Nicholas Copernicus was a Jesuit priest. And then you go, well, Big Bang Theory, and the universe started with a Big Bang. That's science, you know? So it wasn't created by somebody with a concept of like organizing information, every anatomical piece of matter that is interdependent and works so beautifully together, like a tree, like my hand with 5 fingers, not 6. Just perfect amount of everything. Just enough, not 2 thumbs, 1 thumb, everything, my senses. All this information came out of a Big Bang. Everything came out of nothing. But guess what? The Big Bang Theory? It's another Jesuit priest. That's right. You don't even know who came up with the theory. You think it's Einstein. No. It's Georges Lemaitre. The Master in French. George the Master. And he's a Jesuit priest. You know, there's a reason why the Jesuits have the most powerful telescopes to look into space. There's a reason. Because all of science apparently flows from Jesuit priests. They're all part of the theater of war. They're setting the stage for war. And I know, and it seems to me like when it started really, like I called it in 2011, 12, and I called it like way even before that, but I couldn't upload. Watch, they're gonna like try to have a war with Russia to distract everybody as people start waking up to deception after deception until they get to the final big one. And just before they could wake up to that one, too late, World War III. So this is the situation. So the second viral video, the second type of viral over YouTube is the splinter cell concept, where the video is now, it's not one video at 20 million in 48 hours. it's like hundreds of videos of the same topic through hundreds of channels. But 5,000 here, 100,000 there, 20,000 here, 30,000 there. So I believe we're now at that level, which, you know, you can control a lot of traffic, like mind traffic with the internet, and you can kind of ideologically sort of engineer what people are going to be distracted or attracted to. But at a certain point, the machine itself is its own monster to the person who created it. And in this sense, it's our monster. But we're in that time frame right now with Netanyahu wanting to fucking bomb Iran. And you got President Obama almost looking like the last 2 years, I'm like, all right, now I'm going to be black. You know what I mean? Like, I think he's like, I think there's a possibility, like, made that little punchline. I was like, you know, about the flat earth when he was doing his speech.
Oh, yeah, we don't have time to talk to the flat earth.
But he stuttered. He stuttered.
They must have been founding members of the Flat Earth Society. They would not have believed that the world was round.
You want me to knock you in the head?
Well, I want you to swear to God on the Bible that you walked on the moon.
Okay.
If you walked on the moon, we're given the opportunity to swear to God that you walked on the moon.
I'm going to give you the opportunity to get the hell knocked out of you if you don't leave me alone.
So why don't you just put the end to the record in the argument and put your hand on the Bible, swear to God you walked on the moon.
Mr. Cybro, knowing you, that's probably a fake Bible.
Well, you're talking to the wrong guy. Why don't you talk to the administrator in NASA? We're passengers. We're guys going on a flight.
Of course. I don't hit people, but you're going to be on the deck unless you get
I'm heading out. I appreciate it.
and get the hell out of my house.
Well,
Take your stuff and get the fuck out. Why don't you quote me and say it's bullshit?
I'm in the shadows in the wrong place. I don't give a damn about all that shit.
You're full of shit.
of lunar orbit being falsified.
Being falsified?
Correct. We've got an unedited tape from a source at the Johnson Space Center.
Totally nonsense. Mr. Cybro, you do not deserve answers.
If you show this publicly, you're open for a lawsuit. Okay?
You gotta choose whether it's a ball or it's flat. That's it. Do you want to like choose it's a ball quietly knowing it's flat because you're scared? That's your deal. You want to choose it's flat and then you're gonna lose it and then go into a war? I don't advocate that. I'm a gentleman. I pay. I'm not into any kind of like freak out. This whole point, this is like a soft core mass humiliation project of the world's ruling elite. Just all of us stepping back and going, ah, it's, you know what, it's not a ball anymore. No, we're not buying it. That's all this is. I mean, do you really think that you got supervision? Like, if it's flat, I will see it forever. Now, because things get small from the distance, they get smaller, you know? You don't have like this supervision. You know, just because it's flat doesn't mean you could see forever. Do you really think God would give you all these senses? Or the architect or the force? If you don't like the word God, the thing that created the orchid and the bees, harmonic, interdependent evolution, which is beyond what Darwin can explain from monkeys to humans. Do you really think that force would have fooled you by giving you senses to think that it's flat and infinite and make you grounded? And you don't feel a spin, but it's spinning and going up and down 1,000 miles an hour, 65,000 miles an hour. like this, but you don't feel that because of a magical force that only starts its argument by saying if the Earth is a ball, then objects are at rest because. That's not an argument to prove it's a ball. That's an argument to prove it's a ball by saying if it's a ball. And then you want to tell me clouds don't change, baby boomer. Or it's not about baby boomer. Because it's also dumb little parrots who are possessed. Now, I want to talk about the schism when you're faced with all this. You either turn from the light, because we're talking about the light here, and you go back to the image of the beast from the military, which is an invisible religion, by the way. You worship it. If you believe that's the Earth, because you don't know it, you believe. It's a belief. Therefore, a religion, a cult. You've never seen that point of view. You believe the Earth is a ball. You believe they went to the moon. Therefore, you believe in... That's a religion. I have intuition. I see fraud when I see it. And I have a hyper-realist, tangible scrutiny of what's presented as evidence of the surface I stand upon and how energy works and what you told me about the monkey and the man, the leaf and the tree and the rock I stand upon and when and where and how. Jesuits, armed science. Once again, you atheists that believe in just science and not religion, you are believing in Jesuit priests. So what are you going to do with that? Hate me some more. Hate, hate, hate. Hate, 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 hate. I fucking love being hated by those who are possessed. Oh, and you think this is scary? Wait till the boots are on the ground. And I don't know what's worse, the globalists in the West or the globalists in China and Russia who've been fed this false sense of pride by the fact they give a lift to the Americans to the space station. Somebody's got to get to the Russians, too, about all this. See, things break. Things break. You thought this was just a regular brush, and I was just sort of playing around with it, and oops, it broke. And it's just that easy. Things just break. Time-lapse footage of the Earth from space, video footage sped up, but the clouds don't mutate. Hate me some more. Hate, hate, hate. Hate, 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 hate. If it's a ball, why are you faking all the footage? Huh? Why are you faking the size of continents relative to real driving distance from one coast of Canada to the other and Russia on a toy globe? If it's a ball, it's a ball. Put everything to scale. You tell me you could fit Canada twice into the length of Russia? If it's a ball, why are you faking everything? If it's a ball, why does it look like a cartoon? If it's a ball, why do people say, I believe it's a ball? If it's a ball. But why is it still the theory of gravity? You didn't prove it. You only need the theory of gravity if it's a ball. That's how the whole equation starts. So, it's not a ball. We don't need gravity. Gravity's just there to explain why the fucking shit's not flying off if we're spinning 1,000 miles an hour. Hate me some more. Hate, hate, hate. Hate, 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 hate. It's temperature. This is ether. This is air, gas, whatever you want to call it. Ether. The original word was ether. You know, the spaces between things. And it's got a temperature. If it gets too cold, I get affected. If it gets too hot, my skin will melt off. Underneath me is stuff that'll melt my skin. We see it shoot out of volcanoes. I got dirt, rock, minerals, maybe oil, deposits. Then I got lava. Don't talk to me about the candy center, the gobstopper earth where there's layers of candy bar with like a chewy chocolatey center. That's nickel or iron, or I used to ask in geography. And then underneath the lava is iron. And I'm like, how'd you get through the lava to know there's iron? Matt, get out of class. Call me disruptive. They call me disruptive in geography. Hate me some more. Hate, hate, hate. hey. The class would laugh, but I would be kicked out because I was making jokes. No, I was a sincere question. How do you know the center of the earth is nickel if you got to go through, you know, this many hundreds of miles of molten magmic lava? Funny, eh? The center of the earth is cartoons. Your maps are cartoons. Those aren't the real sizes of the countries. The toy globe is inaccurate. It's a toy. That's how inaccurate it is. It's a toy globe. But apparently, you can't make everything to scale if it's a globe. As long as it's 3 parts water. Hate me some more. Hey. Here's the North Pole. Going around in circles on a floor doesn't mean you're on a sphere. Looking up at circular lights or a moon, celestial body that's circular, doesn't mean you're on a circle. You're on a sphere. Just because you got a lack of choice up there to reference doesn't mean the one object up there must mean that's what you're on. Well, I don't have a chair floating. It's not a cow. The only thing I see up there is a round thing. Well, then I must be on that. That's a little primitive. Think about it. And somebody can control that. Maybe you're just within bigger spaces between celestial phenomenon than you think. And it's not even Star Trek here. Hate me some more. Hey. You never see those pictures of like Jupiter when you look at through a mechanical telescope. You need to like hub into a digital display, wait for like 10 seconds so somebody can feed you an image when you point it at the sky. But when you look through a regular telescope, you're just seeing lights. Could be pinholes in a big huge dust cloud with the sun on either side for all you know. And it's just rotating dirt. And then the holes are basically the sun on the other side of the dirt cloud. Could be anything. Alright? I'm saying the evidence is more that it's flat, and the cover-up is now backing up flat earth conspiracy and theory more than anything. The cover-up, the lies with the images of the globe. But there's only really one way to prove this. And it's not by going up there again with another person who nobody's going to believe. People will believe me, but I'm not, you know, some people won't. They'll think I won't come back. You know? Civilians sometimes blow up in rockets. Check it out. Hate me some more. Hey. It's the ocean. I'm going to put some birds coming in. They're like just torpedoing. Man, I wouldn't want to be in a submarine with that kind of conjugation. But they're going to be birds coming in, just interrupting the jellyfish. And I'm going to be painting the panic on the jellyfish. Kind of a metaphor about one world interrupting another for a client. So yeah, even though it's in a seascape, it has a lot to do with what's going on. Because they're not ready, these jellyfish, for these birds that are going to suddenly come in and then grab the fish and disrupt this world. They don't know really the other world above. You know, they'll end up on beach and then they'll die. When they find out about the other world, it's usually on their deathbed. But there is another world above the surface. But the fish don't know that. They have theories, and the fish kind of float around, and they might talk amongst each other. You know what? I think there's more stuff. There's another dimension outside of the water. And they're like, you go there, you're going to die. I was like, well, maybe I'll die, but there is another dimension. You're crazy. It's just this. As far as the eye can see, the horizon of the seabed. The fish don't know that there's another air dimension. Maybe the whales and the mammals do, but a lot of the fish don't. A lot of like sea life don't know. Some are like 10 miles deep in the dark abyss of the sea. And that's all they know. And then once in a while a fish would go, you know what, I think if we go up, you know, we'll get a little more light to see what the fuck we're doing.
And the others, are you crazy? There's nothing up there. It's dark all the way up. Hate me some more. Hate, hate, hate. Hate, 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 hate. They make you think it's demonic. And it might very well be demonic possession, being a globalist, because you really are worshiping the image of the beast. As they say in the Bible, they will all bow and worship the image of the beast. And the mark of this beast is the number of a man, 666. Well, 6, if we look into Egypt, is the eye, right? 9 is a spiritual number. So they went to the moon in 1969 to save Newton, who was trying to save Copernicus, who came up with the theory of gravity in 1666. You will recognize the beast, for it is the number of a man. And that man is Newton. And that beast is the military-industrial complex. Let's just say we know that that's where that picture's from. Everybody who's in NASA is a military pilot or a military scientist or works for military weapons manufacturing companies. 10 of them, according to Phil Platt. If you want to go look up that. And it's funny that the status quo astrophysics community and the NASA pundits are all these funny guys now. It's like they're arming saving globalism and the idea that you spin on a little ball 1,000 miles an hour with a moon that doesn't show you any other side of itself, bopping up and down at 65,000 miles an hour while it's spinning on itself. But you don't feel it because of this magical force, which states that when a thing is so big, things gravitate towards it. Kind of like the Queen of England, or George Bush, or stars in Hollywood. Hate me some more. Hate, hate, hate. Hate, 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 hate. I don't give a shit about being liked by you, Dan Clark, or any of these people, Phil Hems, or shit. Well, these people that you spend all day trying to attack me. You know, you gotta sit in the bed you made. And now you gotta look at the footage that NASA provides you of the Earth from space at a distance, sped up spinning, and the clouds don't change when it's a 30% rotation in 6 seconds. I'm being generous too. I think it's like 4 seconds, it's a half turn of the planet. And the clouds don't change wildly. We're talking about a 12-hour freaking period of the day, sped up in like 6 seconds, but clouds don't change. So you gotta sit and sleep in the bed you made and say that clouds don't change when you see them. They don't morph or change. In order to save that footage, in order to save that ball, in order to save your science, in order to save NASA as a supporting evidence supplier of all of Copernicus, you gotta say that clouds don't change to win your argument. You think you're smarter than me. That's what's pathetic. And you can't let go of the fact you're not. You're not. None of you. You're not. Face it. And if you want to go there and say that clouds don't change, so you could argue that that's a real image of the Earth from space and we got one, you're possessed. You're possessed by your ego. You're jealous of the fact that you didn't see it and I had to point it out to you and I'm younger. You're an ageist. You're a baby boomer. Right? Discrimination based on age and knowledge base. Like most people who think they're older, they think they're smarter, they think they're wiser. Oh, older, smarter, and wiser. No, not necessarily. Just stagnant and rotting and waiting for retirement so you could rot on a beach. You think I'm gonna rot on a beach? Nope. I'll be in the bed dying, just moving my little fingers. And if I can't move my fingers, I'll be moving my nose and painting with my fucking nose, or my tongue, or my elbow, or I'll be telling somebody what to do, like Stephen Hawking. I'll always be painting. I'll always be working. You know why? Because I love to work. I love to learn. I'm not waiting to, that's it. Don't want to think about nothing, sit on the beach and rot, and everything's been thought of, and I'm part of the generation. I'm from the tequila daiquiri generation. Sit on the beach, I'm in retirement. I really strongly believe, more than in a globe, that this is a big, huge geothermal pond with continental lands that have been created by a magnetic meteor that came through the Van Allen, or the electrical emanation between two dimensions of temperature, the one below us, which is liquid hot magma, and the one above us, which is a gaseous cold dimension, and on it creates a crust, just like your skin. Underneath your skin is you've got your lava, which is your hot blood, and then outside you got your room temperature. If it's too hot, your skin's going to melt off. Hate me some more. Hate, hate, hate. Hate, 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 hate. South. Boat, gas, provisions, team of 100 people, witnesses. We're going to have a cable, we're going in a straight line. We're going to be spiking the cable every 50 or 100 miles, depending on how far we can get with the cable, in a straight line. Now, if the Earth is a ball, we can estimate when we're going to come through the South Pole, completely across. Even that stupid little GPS global positioning system point, and then continue. Not go to the point, high five, and then come back the way we came in. Keep going. And I'm dropping off my team every time I put a spike in the cable. And they're going to watch that spike for a certain amount of time, a couple weeks, 2 weeks, and they're going to fall back to the original position, while the team gets smaller and smaller as we go further forward. This is if we don't hit the other coastline, like they say on a globe. And won't that look be precious when I walk into the cafeteria in the Snowcat to watch scientists that are with me, globalists that are with me, because I'll have a few doubting Thomases on board, just for the drama. And see their looks on their faces when we don't hit the coastline. I'm not going in the way that the Southern Polar Authority tells me. If they do tell me to go in a particular way, I'm going to ask a barrage of questions as why that way only. Because the goal here is I could go in any way and get across. Will they even entertain having a meeting with me? I'm the Admiral. I'm the only one. I'm going to raise some money here because I'm going to be painting money and then selling the Kennedy bills at live shows. I'm going to expand the NASA channel. I'm going to get other players, other correspondents, because I'm going to need people to cover stuff while we go on this expedition. What is this expedition going to take place? I don't know, but we need a lot of money. Because it's not a ball. So that's a long effing journey into night. Cold, cold night. And I want to do it in comfort and security. Solar panels on the roof of the Snowcat. Enough food and gas. Big enough roof on the Snowcat to land like a Cessna and a helicopter for emergencies. To go scout up ahead before the cat gets there. Before the weight of the cat can compromise a fault line in the ice and a huge sheet goes sliding down a big huge crack. Cracks could be 2,000 feet deep. 2,000 feet deep cliffs. 100-yard spaces between this edge of the cliff to the next edge. Crack. No sunlight. We got mountains that are taller than any mountain on Earth. 10 miles high. Just ice on top of ice. Yeah, I bet going to the moon was easier. All you had to do was go into a studio in Albuquerque.
We're outside Albuquerque. We know where. Area 51. That's where you shoot all this stuff. Jupiter Room, all this stuff. So, it's going to be funded through live shows. It's going to be funded through the NASA channel. And it's going to be funded through the rights to film the expedition and then broadcast it. Hate me some more. Hate, hate, hate. Hate, 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 hate. How can I be a shill if I started this? How can I be my own controlled opposition? In 2011, there were 6 videos on YouTube about the Earth being flat. Well, no, there was 5 videos, and then there was a whole channel, my channel. And I took the NASA channel to be a brat, because it's an acronym. Now, it seems to me a tactique by shills so that we can't detect the shills, to call anybody who starts a movement a shill. So anybody calls me a shill is the shill. They're confusing you. Not for long. I'm going to clear it up. I don't have a script. Because this is really what I want to do. I really mean this. I really want to go in a straight line across the South Pole. And try to help them prove the Earth is a ball, I guess. Because you could have a whole channel dedicated to space. You could have NASA cable television, a whole 24/7 channel. But if you don't have real-time surveillance camera of the Earth spinning in real time as a ball in 2015, time's up. It's back to 6 ships, like Columbus, heading straight for the South Pole. Because it seems to be happening there. That's how we're going to pay for this. We're going to film it. We're going to sell the rights to broadcast this either on television or in theaters worldwide. Right now, our outreach between myself, Eric Dubé, we're coming in on 120 million. Yeah, you might see some videos at 5,000 views, but when you add them all up, 200 videos, 30,000 here, 100,000 there. Opening weekend, 120 million people show up at $10 a head. It's a nice profit. So retroactively, whoever's going to fund the expedition gets a piece of that. And you know how else we're going to fund this? People are going to be able to bet against me or for me in Vegas. That's right. You're going to be able to bet whether it's a ball or if it's flat. The windfall's greater if I win, but how many people are actually going to bet money on me? That's where it gets interesting. So from Vegas to Tahoe to every Indian reserve to Monaco to every casino worldwide, people will be able to sit, have a cocktail, gamble, play blackjack, poker, and watch the screen to see when I hit that coastline. And I'm going to get my take from every casino. I'm going to need $1 billion here because it ain't a ball. And I'm going to drop off my team the further and further deep into dark night of the Antarctic I go until I hit that other geothermal Earth. You think I'm mad, huh? Well, they call Columbus mad. And I'm not going to stop at your Apollo 17 photo. And all this science that's backed by that photo. Try to say the Earth is a ball without NASA. What do you got? See, I ain't no shill because there's no script. This is really pouring out of my intention. I'm not hiding behind a camera. I'm not attacking myself in order to garner views to some stupid model that we live in a teacup. Let's say a lot of people show up to the live show that I'm going to be doing until I hit critical mass. That's right. The Flat Earth Conspiracy Live, hosted by JFK, will be coming to a city near you. And if you want to help me put on a show, Roadhouse style, in a warehouse, late at night, where we can party on me painting the Flat Earth on a dance floor, you call me up. We'll book a show in your town. And we'll raise the monies, and I'll put you on that snow crawler when I go south.